Hello YouTube, this is Dexter Nolan here with a brand new video. In this video I'm going to be discussing what I think may happen in the next Konami ban list. These are predictions, but I'm going to leave out some things that I do think will come back, like Bestiary. I think he might go to 3, he's a junk card. Even in Gladiator Beasts I wouldn't run 2, even in the build. So I'm going to get straight into it. Most of these hits are self-explanatory, but I think this is a ban list where Konami have an advantage, or not an advantage, an option, a chance to release things off there. Because, come on guys, you've seen the 3 new decks that have come out, right? Satellar Knights, Shadows, and Burning Abyss. Now I play Satellar Knights, I'm sure you've seen the videos, and well, they're just broken. All 3 of those decks make bits of older tier 1 decks like Yugioh and Haas and pretty much any tier 1 or tier 2 deck that was out before Duelist Alliance. So I don't think that it's necessary to destroy pre-Duelist Alliance decks. They've been out power crept, and that's why I think it's the perfect opportunity to free some cards off the ban list, especially because Konami don't want a cloggy ban list with everything on it, and there's so many things they could just take off that would be so nice. There's a few cards that need to be hit, of course, and I hope that they do a big ban list this time. The last one we got was pretty poor, and it was pretty small, and didn't make much change on the meta. It just kind of slowed Yugioh down, but even then, they just took out those Yugioh Gears and Yugioh MK2s, and what they added in instead was Trap Tricks or Hands or whatever, and it ran almost as good. So I'll get straight into this, and I'll show you first monsters, then spells and traps, and I'll explain why I think each of them should come off. So first off, Infern the Archfiend, I think this card should go to 2. It's a mandatory hit that has to happen on the World's Champions deck, even though it doesn't necessarily have to happen. Remember, this is a prediction, not a want list. So I think that they'll probably just hit this to 1 or 2, hopefully 2, so that it doesn't kill the deck. And that and another card which will be shown later in the video were the 2 likely candidates I came up with. Stygian Street Patrol and Lavalval Chain were also options, but I don't think that hit either of those just because they're not important enough to the deck. And what I mean by that is when you hit Infern the Archfiend, you know you're hitting Infernies. You're not hitting every deck. Whereas if you hit Lavalval Chain, you hit stuff like Gem Knights and really bad decks that don't do anything anyways. And if you hit Street Patrol, you're just like, what's this card? It's Fiend support, I don't get this. And next ban list, people are like, why is Street Patrol banned? Like it always happens. So this guy I think is going to get hit. Next up we have Shockmaster. Shockmaster is good, and I think it powers up Satellar Knights, gives them something they need. And other than that, it also I think it's good. It's a lock card, and it's a good 3 material rank 4, and I think something like this is what we need. Wind-ups aren't a thing anymore, so by bringing this back, it's not going to break the game. Also, as I said, the power creep is unreal. Decks like Yugioh, at full power, would not touch Satellar Knights, and that was the top deck last format. I mean, it's incredible. So when I say this, I mean it, and I think Shockmaster should come back to 1. Just the 1 copy that they can make once per duel, maybe open up with it, and it'll hurt a lot of decks, but it's not unbeatable. It can only stop 1 type of the 3 cards that you see. So Shockmaster. Next you got Coach Soldier Wolfpack. Now I think Farfists were unfairly hit. I also think that maybe Spirit should come back instead, but I think Coach Soldier Wolfpack would be the best option, simply because he runs in the 4-axis build as well as the 3-axis build, whereas Spirit only runs in the 3-axis build, or the 3.4-axis build. So I think this guy will help both versions of the deck, and I also think it's a very good card. It also helps less known decks like Quacky Miru out, and Fire Kings and that kind of thing. So I think it's going back to 2, maybe 3 after a while, but 2 for now. Next up we got Reborn Tengu. Now all I have to say about this card is hands exist. I mean, hands are at 3. Both hands are at 3, and they're not really doing much anymore. They were really good when hat was the thing, but now they just seem like people play around them. And this card, while it's harder to play around than hands, it also is less destructive. It doesn't really crush your opponent. I mean, hands plus a lot. This card just floats. It's just a floater. It's a basic floater, and the amount of floating we have now, it really isn't that great a card. I'd probably run 3 of this in something like my Satellar Knights, simply because it floats, so I can make rank 4s every turn. But past that, it's not really that useful. It's a good card, no doubt about it, but it's not going to break anything. Stratus to 1. Come on, guys. Why was this banned? Deneb is at 3, of course, because it's just released. But Deneb is a free card at 3, and it's really good. But how can a searcher that works like that be at 3 when this is banned? It just doesn't make sense. Why would Konami print that? This card has to come off. It supports the new hero builds that are coming out, and it would help sell the product too. And as well as that, it should never have been banned in the first place. I mean, I'm fine with them banning a Hero Lives if they get Stratus back, because this is the heart and soul of the deck, and they crushed that deck, and there was no reason to do it. Hero Beat needs to become a thing again. Stratus to 1, free Stratus. Next we got Insector Hornet. This card will increase this consistency of Insectors at 3. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to break him. And a lot of people don't mention this card. They're just like, Insectors are scary. They don't understand it. What this being at 3 will do will mean that the deck won't die to a simple DD Crow or Rhapsody and Berserk. It will not make them stronger. They cannot loop with this card simply because they need Dragonfly for that. So I think an appropriate course of action will be put this card at 3. It increases consistency. It adds more Insectors that are actually playable without actually making the deck much more better, I guess. Debris Dragon, this guy has to come to... Well, he doesn't have to. This is kind of a card I'm shaky on, but he should go to 2, I think. With the amount of kind of revival that you have, cards that kind of just special summon another, this card really isn't as good as it used to be. It's still a very good card. It's a +1 on summon, of course, and it makes a pretty cool synchro. Usually something like Black Rose, or maybe a level 6 synchro or a level 5, if you so choose, but I think it should come back to 2 for testing, maybe 3 after that. Road has been back at 2 for a while, since the last banlist, and I think it should go to 3. It hasn't been tuned too much. It's a searcher, not generic, but a generic warrior searcher, level 4 lower. At 2 it's been doing fine. It does boost Stellar Knights up a lot, and some other hero or warrior based decks. Sorry, hero came into my head. But it's not broken. Adds consistency and that kind of stuff, but it shouldn't really be at 2. Soul Charge needs to go to 1 or banned, because this card really is broken. As a Stellar Knight player, I can abuse this card so much, but even so, it needs to go to 1, and it's such a sacky card that I think maybe ban it. You know, you don't want to lose just because someone happened to draw the 1 copy of this card in their deck, so I think it should be banned for that reason. But also, I think it might be a bit too harsh to ban it and just put it to 1, maybe. It does have some drawbacks. Some people say they're insignificant. I'll have to disagree. But if it wins you a game, what's the drawback on do small drawback? So yeah, to 1 or banned, and this has to happen. By the way, this is just something that if left unchecked, I will be very reluctant to participate in the game. Book of Moon. It's a very skillfully played card. It looks straight. If you read the text, you look at it, and it appears like it's a -1. But this card is such a great card because it requires skill to get the most out of it, to stop your opponent from plussing, to prevent an attack that you really can't let go through, to prevent a once per turn effect you really can't allow. You know, it's just that kind of card, and I think allowing it to go to 2, it's a skillful card, and it would make a lot of more control style builds more viable too. It's just one of those cards. Also, Compulse would be a good option because it's not extremely broken, and it's not really a +1 unless you or it's a -1 unless you hit something back to the extra deck. So yeah, this is a very skillful card. It was actually originally banned because of Blackwings, I believe. And look at them now. So yeah, to 2 please. Heavy Storm and Solemn Judgment. These guys go hand in hand. They both have to come back. If one of them comes back, the other has to come back. What this does is it kills back row. You know what this does. It wipes all face down spells and traps off the field, and face up ones too. Actually, just nukes all spells and traps on the field. I think it should come back. I'm sick of this set 5 go format. I like the idea of being smart with your back row. Maybe setting 2 cards that you need. Maybe you draw onto 4 traps. Maybe a Bottomless, a Solemn Warning, a Deep Prison, and let's say a Breakthrough skill. Now you're going first. Let's say you've got a monster. Maybe it's a Yugioh or something. You set that card. You're going to want to have. You don't want to set your entire back row. If you do, it's just like you're just stopping your opponent from playing. But if heavy's in the storm, you have to set it clever. You have to set that maybe breakthrough skill and bottomless. The reason I say those two is because if you set solemn warning and bottomless, it's pointless. What are you doing? You're risking your two summon stoppers, I guess. Bottomless doesn't stop a summon, but it does kill banish a monster after it's summoned. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if you play this game, you understand exactly what I'm saying with this. It's a skillful card that promotes skillful non-overextension in your play, and it's going to stop a lot of this back row heavy nonsense that's being on. Solemn Warning is Solemn Judgment, sorry, is the appropriate stop to this card. At 1, it would allow. It's a skillful card, heavy cost. I think it should be at 1 too. I didn't think these two cards were broken when they were at 1 for a format. I think I can't remember 2, 3 formats ago, maybe 4, where they were both at 1, and I thought that was one of my favorite formats. Although it had a lot of broken stuff in it. Come on, guys, it's not going to break the game, especially with so much powerful OP decks nowadays. So yeah, that was my Banlist prediction video. There's a few other decks that I think should get boosts, such as Gladiator Beast with Bestiary, Blackwings with Gale, maybe. So many of them, I can't remember them all, but I'm not going to include those because I don't want the list to be too long and don't have a bunch of those cards on hand. But this is the core of what I predict and want from the ban list, both mixed in there. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this little video, please go ahead and leave a like. If you really enjoyed it and want to see more, subscribe. Maybe leave a comment if you thought it was sucked. But thanks for watching, and peace out.